on my channel Talk in English. So we'll continue with Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 2, and we are now going to begin with the speech of the sergeant after he had told King Duncan how Macbeth had killed MacDonald and beheaded him. So now, after that, Duncan calls Macbeth a worthy gentleman and his valiant cousin. So after that, the sergeant again says, as west the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So the sergeant says, just like the sun rises in the east, but from there also we get the storm and the thunder. So why is he telling this? Because further he says, so from that spring, whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. So he's trying to say that when we feel that we are in a comfortable position, that is the very time sometimes that discomfort arouses. That is, in other words, he's trying to say that as soon as Macbeth had defeated and killed MacDonald, there was a fresh rebellion which was taking place there, and it was done by the Norwegian king supported by the Irish people. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault. Alright, so that is what he's saying, that as soon as justice had with valor armed compelled these kerns to trust their heels. Kerns are the Scottish people, and he says as soon as the battle was over and Macbeth and his army were now ready to turn back, turn his heels means turn back to their their residence or back to their country, there was a fresh assault, and this fresh assault was done by the Norwegian king. Dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo? So Duncan says, oh no, did this disappoint Banquo and Macbeth? Because of course after such a a rigorous battle, such a bloody battle with MacDonald, they must have been so happy and relaxed and would have been ready to come back home. But then suddenly if this happened, didn't it give them a shock? Sergeant, yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannon overcharged, which with double cracks. So he says, yes, they were just a little disturbed, just like a lion, a sleeping lion can be disturbed by an eagle or a sparrow. So eagle and a sparrow, they are small creatures. So they will not, disturb a lion. A lion will not get irritated to that level or will get scared or will be shocked if a sparrow or an eagle sits on its back. So similarly, he tries to say that Macbeth and Banquo were not so much, disturbed by this, and rather with their cannons again overcharged, that is, they were recharged to fight this battle with their cannons. Doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, that they were now equally more valiant, and they were more in a in a position to attack, except they meant to bathe in wrecking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. So that is, they were as if they were trying to make that battle into a bloody scene. There is a reference to Golgotha. Golgotha is a reference in Bible, which is a place where it is called a place of skulls. This was the place where Jesus Christ was crucified. So here the sergeant is making a reference to Golgotha, that is that Macbeth was fighting this battle, and he was fighting it such a lot of vigor and killing people as if he wanted to make this battle as famous as the place of Golgotha. Duncan, so well thy words become thee as thy wounds. This smack of honor both, who get him sergeants. So Duncan now refers to the sergeant and says, the way you are so bravely, so valiantly describing the battle, so are your wounds expressing that you have even fought the battle with the same valor. So then he says that your wound needs care. You need to be taken care of, so we need a surgeon who can look at you. Malcolm. Who comes here? Malcolm, the worthy Thane of Ross. So Malcolm says the Thane of Ross has come here. Lennox, what a haste looks through his eyes. Should he look that seems to speak things strange? So he says, Lennox says that look at the expression on the Thane of Ross's face. It seems as if, there is some, eagerness, some news, some surprise that he wants to tell us. Ross gave God Save the King. God Save the King, this is actually the anthem or kind of a greeting to the king. Whence camest thou, worthy Thane? Duncan asks him, like, what is the purpose that you have come here for? So Ross, from Fife Great King, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold, Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. So again, even Ross is giving him the same news, that the Norwegian king has now rebelled and is assisted by the Thane of Cawdor. Till that Bellona's bridegroom, Lapton Proof, confronted him with self-comparisons. So, Bellona's bridegroom, here Bellona's bridegroom is being referred to Macbeth. Bellona is the goddess of war in Greek mythology. And here the reference is being made to Macbeth, that he is the bridegroom of Bellona. Why? Because the way he is fighting with valor, that there is no compromise. Comparisons means he is not trying to make any compromise with the enemy, that they can have peace or any kind of a solution coming to it. But he is he is ruthlessly killing the enemy. That is what he is saying. Therefore, there are three adjectives that are used for Macbeth. The King Duncan calls him worthy cousin, worthy gentleman, valiant cousin, and now Ross is referring to him as the bridegroom of Bellona. Confronted him with self-comparison, point against point. Point against point means sword against sword. Like, tit for tat. Whatever the enemy was doing, Macbeth was equally giving the answer to it. Rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us. So finally, Ross gives the very good news that Macbeth did, equally gave an equal battle, an equal fight to the enemy, and in the end, we won. We got the victory. Great happiness. That now Sweno, the Norwegian king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men, till he dispersed at St. Combs Inch $10,000 to our general use. So Ross says that as a result, that is Sweno, the Norwegian king, wanted to compromise. He wanted peace, but we laid a condition before him that unless and until he gives a composition of $10,000 for our use, we will not even allow him to bury his soldiers. So that is the composition. That is the compensation. That is I'm saying composition. That is the compensation that they are asking for from the Norwegian king. That you have to pay us $10,000, then only we'll allow you to bury your soldiers. Now here, Duncan says, no more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive. Our bosom interest go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. So this is a very important speech. Here Duncan announces that because of that the Thane of Cawdor had actually betrayed us. Our bosom interest means in our, loyalty. Loyalty is from your heart. So he has actually attacked us. He has given pain to our heart. He has deceived us. Hence, we are going to pronounce his death. That is, King Thane of Cawdor should be killed. And now this title will be given to Macbeth. That is, the Thane of Cawdor title will now be given to Macbeth. So that's all for today. I'll continue tomorrow with Act 1, Scene 3, wherein we'll see the witches making the prophecies for Macbeth, and how Macbeth, the seed of ambition and the seed of corruption to get success quickly is aroused in his heart. So we'll continue with Act 1, Scene 3 tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can